Hi, have you ever wondered why 10 follows 9 or 100 after 99? And it seems that it's so natural that it should be, right? Because we count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's so easy, but it's not. Why? Like, there's no particular reason that a 10 should be represented as 1 and 0 and it uses two digits instead of one. There's no actual reason other than the fact that we decided to use base 10 counting system, numbers system, to represent numbers and calculate. So it comes so naturally to us now, but there is no, like, if you're wondering why is that, it is a good question, because we should be asking the question of why is that. And if someone says no, it is really hard to understand, well, it should be, shouldn't it? Because sometimes I feel that when someone asks a question and you think, oh, it should be so easy, should be so simple, should be instinctive. Why is it so difficult? I think those are the times that you actually realize, wait, maybe it's just we are so, that these ideas and customs are so ingrained in us that we just think that it's natural, but it isn't. We just at some point in our history decided that that is one of the ways to represent numbers and understand what is going on and make sense of things. So another great example is a clock. So with clock, it's sort of a combination of two different things, because we still count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and using base 10. But when we are counting seconds to minutes, from minutes to hour, we are counting by base 60, right? Because you don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and go on to the next hour or next day. You will actually have to count, well, first of all, when you get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, da 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 da. And when you get to 59 seconds, and when you get to 60 seconds, that means you have gone on to a minute. 60 seconds, 1 minute, you go on to using a different unit. And from that, when you have 60 minutes, after 59, you go to 60. When you have 60 minutes, you go to 1 hour, right? You go to 1 hour. You go on to using a different unit of measurement. And then after that, when you get to 1 hour, if you have 12 hours, right, the clock would actually go round once, and that's half a day. Go round for the second time, and that's the full day. So it's a different combinations of base 60 and base, you can count it as base 12. So this is a very telling time is a very complex system, and that is why if like everyone has to learn how to count time when you are smaller, right? Because it's a combination of base 10, base 12, and base 60. It is a complex system. And I'll ask you a question. So when you what if instead of 9, oh no, sorry, start again. What if instead of after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you think there's 8 coming, right? But instead of 8 coming, what if 10 comes there? What happens then? So I will have some questions in the description section. There are some challenge questions that you can work on, so please take a look. But for now, we use money to understand why we count by using base 10. Okay, so let's think about what this means right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have $9 right over here. So when I add one more dollar, what is happening is now I have 10, right? This is very, very, you all know this because this is grade 1 level. This is $10 and I cannot fit. I have to be able to use 2-digit. So that means when I add one more to this, you are adding $10. You're taking this away because you don't have these anymore right over here. So this is going to be 0, but you are having 1. And you are having $10 right over here. Okay, so now we're going to think about it. What is happening when you're going from this side to this side? What is happening over here? And I want you to think about it. So, first, this was 1, right? And then when you move over here, you have 10. So what is happening right over here? What do you have to do to $1 to get to $10? You could also add 1, 1, 1, 1, and then until you get to 10. But another thing that you do is, I keep on saying this, but repeated addition is multiplication. Right? That means when you add 1 10 times, like 1 plus 1 plus 1 to get to 10, that means what you are doing right over here is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 and plus 1. So you are adding 1 10 times, which means you are multiplying 1 by 10. So when you're moving from this side to this side, you are going from 1 to 10, you are multiplying the number by 10. So if you're going from 6 to 60, you are multiplying 6 by 10. So when you're moving that, you are multiplying the number by 10. So what if we went the other way? So that means you have $10 right over here, but you want to make $10 to be a $1. What are you doing? Let's think about what $10 is made out of. $10 is made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops. Clumsy moment. 9, 10. So $10, in essence, it is made out of 10 $1 coins. So if I wanted to go from 10 to 1, how can I make 10 into a 1? What kind of operation do I have to do? That means I have to divide it by 10. So if I'm going from this way to this way, now I am dividing it by 10. Or because I'm dividing this into 10 equal parts, divide by 10 can be also represented by multiply by 1/10. So you could do that as well. So I'm dividing this into 10 equal parts, you get $1. So if I wanted to turn a $10 into $1, the operation that you have to do is either divide by 10 or multiply by 1/10. Okay, enough of this. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. Okay. So I asked you a question a little earlier. Do you think you can still do addition when instead of after going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, instead of going to 8, what if it went to 8? Do you think you can still do addition, like a regular addition that you've been always doing? Let's give that a go. But if you want to try it, challenge yourself a little bit, stop the video, give it a try yourself and see how it goes, and give it a try yourself. But remember, when we are talking about carryover, when using a base 10, the 10th number doesn't fit in the first column. So when you get to 9, and when you want to go to one more, when you want to go one more up, you will go to the next column. So think on that and see what happens when you are using base 8. Okay, so counting by base 8. So what do you think is going to happen? Okay, so with base 10, I'm sure you're all aware, 0 to 9, and after that you will move over one column, or in a mathematical term, you go one over on a place value chart. So what about base 8? So this part is fine, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so can you go to 8? With base 10, you could go up to 9 in one place value column, and you had to move over one to the left when you reached 10. So that means with base 8, you can only go up to base 7. And when you get to 8, you have to move over one to the left on a place value chart. So that means you're not going to write down 8. Are you going to write down 8? Do you know what happened right there? When you're counting, when you're telling time, I go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you can go on to 13, but you go back to 1 and count it, right? So what you're going to do is, so 8 on a base 10 chart, you will rate it. So this doesn't mean there are 10 numbers. So this is a super important part. So different ways of counting the actual tangible items. If you have 8 oranges, it doesn't suddenly turn into 10 oranges. You still have only 8 oranges. It's just the base 10, the way we count, is one of the representation, one of the models of how we could count. So looking at 8 oranges, you're not saying this suddenly turned into 10 oranges. You're saying you could count it differently. So these things are going to be important, because if you are someone who wants to go into engineering, you use what is called a binary. So that is base 2, and we go over that a little bit later. But that way of thinking, so numbers can be represented differently. Base 10 is not the only way. So I'm just going over that. So and so on. This is something you could do. Okay, so what if you're doing addition? What's gonna happen? So I have 8 over here, right? Can I write 8? No. Remember, when you get to 8, you moved over 1 to the 1 over left, what am I saying? You moved over 1 to the left on a place value chart. So here you're going to do the same thing. So because I have 8, I'm adding 1 over here and writing 0 right over here. And what about this? I have 1 and 10. So that means here I want to write 11. Okay, so we're going to go back to what if we would do if we were doing a regular calculation using base 10. So let's say if you're doing calculations such as 39 plus 1, whenever we had 10, we moved 1 over, right? Like that. and then we said that's 40. So we want to know after 11 how many 8s we have. So 11 minus 8 is 3. So 3 can just be here, but I have one chunk of 8. So one chunk of 8 is carried over, so I have 2. So if I'm doing addition using base 10, 135 plus 73, I am not saying that the number is 230. What I'm saying is this number can, if I'm using base 10, of course, this is going to be 208. But if I'm using base 8, I'm representing this 208. It is going to be represented as 230. That's how you're going to represent. So what if you are using base 2? That's binary. So that's for all of you who have a dream of becoming an engineer. When you're an engineer and when you're doing programming and all that, you only use 2 numbers, 0 and 1, on and off. So let's see how that would go. Okay, so base 2, that's the binary. Okay, so going to erase all of this. Every time I do this, I screw it up because I miss a step or I forget what I'm doing, so we're gonna do it super slow. So you go 0. Okay, in case you're wondering why this board suddenly changed, I did screw it up, so I had to reshoot it because I missed one step. Okay, so we'll try counting using binaries. Okay, so 0 is 0, we start at 0. And while counting, that means you are adding 1 each time, right? So I add 1, 0, 1. And then I add 1 to 1. Well, it's 2. Well, that means, remember, like, if we are counting base 10, what am I saying? Base 10, and whenever you got to 9, you had to move over, carry over to the left-hand side of the place value chart. You went over 1 column. What am I saying? You went 1 column over to the left, right? So it's the same thing. So 1 plus 1 is 2. You can't fit, whenever you get to 2, you can't keep it in this first column, so you move 1 over to the left. So you get 0 for that, and 1, right? And what's next? So you are adding 1, 2, 1, 0. So you add 1, 2, 1, 0. That part, not too bad. 1, 1. And once again, you add 1 to 1, 1. And what happens? Well, 1 plus 1 is 2. So that means you can't keep that right over there. So you get 0. You carry over 1. That means, wait, now you get 1 plus 1, and then that's 2 again. So you have to bring down 0 and carry 1 over. And you get 1, 0, 0. So now you add 1 again. Well, this part is not too bad right there. So you can see 5 is represented as 101. And now you add 1 to this again. So add 1. I can just do it like this. Add 1. Well, 1 plus 1, 2. Can't do that. Can't keep it right there in the first column. So you bring 0 down, carry 1 over. 1 would fit there. So 1, 1, 0. You add 1 to that. 1, 1, 1. Okay, so now you add 1 to 1, 1, 1. Add 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Once again, you can't, whenever you reach 2, you can't keep it in the first column, so you move over 1 to the left. So bring down 0, carry over 1, 1 plus 1, 2 again, so bring down 0, carry 1 over, wait, 1 plus 1, 2 again, so you bring 0 down and a 1 carry over 1, right? And then you do, okay, you add 1 again, so plus, so I kind of run out of space, but every time you are moving down one row, that means you're adding 1, right? So 1, 0, so 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so now you add 1 to this again, and what happens? 1 plus 1, 2, so bring down 0, carry 1 over, there you are, and you add 1 again, and you add 1 again, so I'm going to just write down there, plus 1, so plus 1, you bring down 0, carry over 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, you bring down 0, carry over 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. And I want you to take a quick look at the chart that we made. Is there anything that you notice that there might be a repeating pattern? That's a hint. So take a look, and if you look at the description section, there are more challenge questions, and you could continue growing this chart yourself as well. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.